Hi everyone, this is Jeremy from once.com. I'm the solution engineer, and welcome to episode 2 of the Once webinar series. And in the last section, if you remember, we have discussed why some of the companies choose to move away from Jira and Confluence, and why Once is the best option. And today we will be focused on the practical side, like how to do a migration from setup to the result that you can verify. And during this section, please feel free to let us know if you have any questions. And let's get started, what we want to achieve today. Okay, so today we will walk through one complete migration flow. We will install the migration tool and start a fresh new task, choose the migration scope, confirm the mapping, run the migration, and validate the result. The goal is not to just see a task marked as completed. It is to know what the data is correct and ready for the next step. We will cover this journey in 5 simple steps. The first one is we will confirm what data can be migrated natively, and we will choose the right way to extract the data. The third one is we will prepare the environment, install the tool, and start a new task. We can configure the mapping and see what is the progress during the migration task. And then we can validate the result and prepare for the production. I will keep the background shot and we can continue with the migration scope. So here's a quick magic that for Jira, the migration covers much more than only issues and projects. It includes more users, groups, issue types, fields, workflows, datasets, comments, attachment, and so on. And another important question is not only whether an item can be moved, we also need to confirm how it should appear and behave in once. For example, we have some customer they might using some plugins in Jira that we need to identify and assess where the data need to be migrated and how we can migrate all this data. We need to also have we need to define the clear rule like the user identities, the field mappings, the workflow permission, and also some of the post functions. And Confluence have a similar challenge. So for Confluence, the main scope includes the spaces, the page hierarchy, the permissions, image and attachments, and the annotations. So standard pages and attachment can usually be migrated directly, and the macros and some of the custom plugins may need more attention. As some of you might know, once provide some building macros, for example, the UML diagram, the mind map, and also provides the Figma prototype that is natively in once. And some of them might be the add-ons in Confluence. However, as there are some various plugins that might not have the parity features in once, so we may need to assess further and see how we can bring those data into one's project and one's wiki. So that's why the sample validation is especially important for the conference content. And once the scope is clear, we can plan the delivery process. And this is a overview about how we handle every migration case from end to end. A reliable migration is not only a single import task, it is a controlled delivery process. We typically help our customers to assess the data volume, to define the scope and make a tailored plan, then start a POC with some typical project sets and the spaces sets, and then validate the results. After the POC, if we move further, we will plan for a dry run with all 4 data migrating to the test environment. This is the key gate before we proceed to the production. will like migrate all of the data and evaluate and validate all the data sets that work perfectly in one's platform, and only the Jira and passes we plan for the real migration. Okay, so now that we understand the scope and the process, we can now look at how the data is extracted. Because we see some tools using APIs for migrations, which may work for a small migration case, but also has some clear limits. It can be slow, it can be like affected by the rate limits, and unable to access some of the history configurations or the plugin data. It is useful, especially for some small updates and maybe the incremental synchronization, but I think they should never be the main extraction method. That's why we choose the backup package and the database approach. For a large enterprise migration, we normally use this approach. This give up like broader data coverage and better performance. We can visualize all the progress. We can make sure the data completeness, and no matter what source we use, the tool follows the same basic processing flow. So here is the process flow. It has four parts. First, it will extract the source data from a backup package or directly from the database. And then it will transform the data into the once data module. We can review and confirm the mapping rules during the migration process. And then finally, the tool will load the data into once, and we can verify the result in the once platform directly. So the key point is that the entire process is visible and you can control. We can like review the rules before start the actual migration into the target one system. And before we start the actual demo, let's quickly check the environment requirements. So typically, this should be done before the first migration run, and we recommend to take a backup of once every time you try to start a new migration task. We recommend once on premises 7.20 version or later, it provides the capabilities of the resume migration and incremental sync. That is our new features for the migration tools. And the second one is that you need to prepare enough cache space. At least 20 gigabyte is recommended. And you also need to make sure you have enough CPU and memory available during the migration. And also like the network access and the permission is some key points to check, including, for example, the database or the backup access, and also the attachment directory. So most setup problems comes from maybe missing the permissions, unavailable files, or insufficient resources. So it's better to check before creating the first migration task. All right, so let's see the real migration in action. All right, my screen is up, right? Okay, so here you can see I have a Jira environment, and the migration tool need to be installed in the Jira server. And you can see all the documentation in docs.once.com. It includes the migration guide, and you can download the migration tool here. And it also includes the guide that how you can deploy and install Once platform. So I will be focused on the migration side today. Let me just get the root access and try to download the migration tool. Let me get the address. Okay, it may take some time for the download. And please feel free to let us know if you have any questions. Oh, I think I have some narrow issue. Right. So during this process, maybe we can have a look on the documentation. Like we have the migration tool guide, and for the migration approach, we introduce why we prefer the backup and the database approach. Because as I just said, the API have some limits. And to plan your migration, we have some requirements that you may need to check. And also we have the migration plan that we typically share with our customer, how you can plan the migration from a very beginning, like a kickoff and the POC dry run to the end of the production. If you are curious about the migration scope, we have some metrics that introduce that what data object can be natively migrated or maybe compatible migrated into the one's platform, like what is for the Jira and what is for the Confluence. And also we have the troubleshooting uh, section, like after migration, you need to review the indexes to make sure the searching function works perfectly and how to provide the logs after if a migration attempt fails. So the link that you get here, it is always the latest migration tool. Um, it is a step-by-step guide, like how you can download it from this on the server, and you can just like unzip the file and start the migration tool. Okay, I think it's almost finished. Right, cool. So unzipped the package. Okay, so here you can see that the tool is available on the server, and let's get into the tool. Okay, here you can see from the directory that we provide the tools for both the Windows and the Linux operating system. And I will just quickly start the tool. Okay, so here it will like let you to select which product that you want to migrate, and it is Jira by default, and also the port and the cache path. So we can always use the default one. All right, and the migration tool is running. Let me just open it. And we can see the migration portal, I think. All right. So here you can see the Jira migration tool, the Confluence migration tool, and let me just start a fresh new task. Oh yeah, just before I start, please make sure that the one's platform is already logged in, and you can see it is a brand new instance, and I can just go back and log in to the platform. And we may need to like fill in some information that if you select the backup package, you need to fill in what is the attachment directory, what is the backup storage path, and if it is the database approach that, oh, sorry. you may need to fill in the database information, and I will pick the backup one for today. Okay, so it will load all the available backup, and I will just pick this one. And by the way, the big bucket data is also supported to be migrated. Like once provide the code integration with some of the Git tools, for example, GitLab, GitHub, and Bitbucket. And if you want to migrate, you are using the Bitbucket and you want to migrate the data, it is also available so that you can see the commits, the branches, and the MRs from the issues directly. So I will just have it analyzed. So this is the process that the tool will extract the data and also like read all of the key informations. And so this step is to select a one team that you just log in to the platform. And here you can select the scope that you want to migrate. You can pick the target projects and click on next. So I will pick one project for today. Okay, so you can see here it will parse all the data from in the specific project, and you can see all of the information here. Like for the users, it will analyze the user groups, and the project roles and permissions and so on. And for the projects and fields, it will pick all of the fields, issue types, datasets, workflow. All right, so let me go next. Yes, and here is where you can configure the mapping between the issue types in Jira and the issue type in once. You can like select whether it mapped the issue type in once, or you can like select to create a new one. So you can see all the issue types that in these projects, and you can configure per your need. I will just Okay, so this is the field section. It is also the same, like you can pick whether to map the fields that is maybe building in the one system, or to create a field, a custom field. Okay, so here is the priority, and it is actually simple. Like if you have some default priority, you can like map it with the once priority value. And if you have some custom one, it is also available to create new ones in once. Yeah. So this step is to set the email service. By the way, like the once platform use the email as the unique identifier that so that each account will have a unique email address. So we can like set the email service here, and all the members that being migrated will use the email service. Okay, so here we can see like the user accounts in Jira can be mapped into the ones, and it will like you can like choose whether the data should be migrated in active status or a inactive status. Active means the user will consume the license, and for example, if some of the users are inactive in Jira, they will also be migrated into a inactive status by default. So you can also choose like whether to create the user if the user doesn't exist in the one's platform now, or maybe if the user is already there, you can map the user account. Yeah, so as you can see, like the user is inactive in Jira, and if the data will be migrated, I mean the account data will be migrated because maybe there are some issues that the user is the assignee or the owner. So to keep all the data completeness, we will migrate the user data, but we'll keep the status as inactive as well. All right, so we can see we have gone through all the stages from to extracting, parsing the status, the data, and we can configure the mapping for the issue types, for the fields, priorities, and so on. And the next step is to have a double check, like how many users and how many projects, issue types to be migrated, and we can start the migration. So I'll just start my migration. And just as I said before, we strongly recommend to back up the once environment before migrating because I'm using a brand new once instance. It may be okay, but if you have some data already in your instance, please take a backup so that you can like quickly recover or roll back. All right. So here you can see the migration steps. Let me just fold it. Yes. So you will process the migration step by step for users, permissions, project issues, attachments, and the notifications. And you can see all of the logs here. So it will record all of the information. And you can also like expand the panel to see the detailed stage. Because I pick only one of the project and the data volume is not so big. But like please note that the migration is not a easy stuff. There might be some edge cases that we may need to pay attention on so that not every migration task will finish in success. We can like always get to the data from the logs and locate the issues, and we can try a new attempt. All right, so here you can see this is the log. The migration has been successfully finished. And I can also download the migration log. Once the migration finished, it will generate a migration report that you can see like what is the mapping, how many issues, fields, or the statuses that you migrate. And let me just trigger the attachment migration. So after the migration, you can like trigger the copy files back. It is the attachment migration. Okay, so it is also completed. And you can see, as I mentioned, that we have a new feature for the incremental sync. It is typically for some like POC stage that the source system, Jira, there might be some new updated data that need to be migrated as well. So we have this feature for you to easily sync the data as well. Right. So here is the migration report that generate automatically like what is the duration for each stage and what is the count like for the user there are 81 users, there are 19 user groups, and there how many fields and how many statuses that are migrated. Okay, so you can use the report to like analyze and validate all the results after the migration, and that is what I will cover for in the following stage. Like you can see what is the selected project and the issue type mapping. So it is not only shown during the migration task, we will also like generate the report for you to review it. Right. So typically after a migration task, we recommend to review the index. Let me just try to refresh. Because I just pick only one project. I think it is okay to see all the result here. All right. So the payment platform project have been migrated, and let me just try to show in this way. Yeah, I think it is more easier for you to see what is the result. And I pick the issue type as task. Let me just try to filter it out. You can always use the filter to, by the way, we have the parity feature like the once QL, which is similar to the JQL, so that you can always use the query statement to filter out the issues as well. Okay, let me order by the ID. Okay, okay. So here you can see the comparison view that there are, let me check, yeah, 130 task issues, and yeah, they are all migrated into the one's platform. And I just have this sorting order by the issue key. Oh, yeah. And by the way, that the issue key will be natively migrated as well. Let me just have it available. So you can always configure like what field to be displayed in the issue list. Yeah, sorry, I need to make it bigger. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the ID is also available. You can see all the issues are migrated natively. And if we want to dive into the detail, the description, the assignees, the labels, and also like the issue links. For because I just pick only one project for today's demo, there might be some project that maybe the issue links might come from another project, so it will not be displayed. But if it is inside the same project, it will be displayed as well. Okay, and let me try to find some issue with attachment. Yeah, this is 434, right? Okay, so as you can see that the attachment is also migrated, and also we migrate the work logs that we use the database or the backup package approach to ensure that we migrate as much data as we can to avoid any data loss, because data is the asset. So we need to make sure if you want to transfer to a new platform, you can keep all the history value. All right, so I think, yeah, it is a quick demo for the Jira migration. And let me just go back to our slide. And please feel free to let us know if you have any question. Sorry, let me share my screen once again. Okay, please operate. Yeah, so during the process, we can see that we have one task and we have multiple decisions to make. That we keep the source information from the Jira, and we can pick the migration scope. We can configure the mapping rules for the issue types, for the fields, and also for the users. And we can see the entire progress. We can see the logs. Also from the migration reports, there are also the migration logs as well. And for the report, you can see what is the amounts for the data objects to be migrated. You can use it to validate the what is the effect of the migration. And depending on the migration plan, this can be maybe a backup package or a database connection to do the migration. So after the migration, we have three types of evidence that help you to prove the result. The first is the migrated data. We can see the data in the one's platform directly to check the actual results. And we can see the detail logs. If there is any like warning or there is any failure, we can capture them and see like what happened during each step. And the migration report that I just showed, it just like summarize the migrated amounts, mapping what is skipped and what is the failures. So together, these results make the migration traceable and easier to review. Okay, so a completed migration task is not only it is only the beginning. I think the most important is to validate and how we can go live. We use four types of evidence for sign off, as we just mentioned. The counts, where the counts are matched between Jira and one's platform. But just a quick note that. There are some design differences that, for example, for the release, it is a kind of issue types in one's platform. So there will be that they will be migrated as a new issue types, and the release will be kind of issues. So the amount for the release may be different, and you can also like check the comments, the attachments. And also for the Confluence, you can check the pages as well between the source and the target platform. And the second one is the mapping. We can confirm that the users are migrated, the fields are migrated, the issue types are there in the new platform. So you can see everything will map correctly. All right, so there are some exceptions that may not be migrated natively, but typically we can have access before the go live stage to see whether there are some critical data that need to be migrated. So maybe based on the once open platform that maybe in another webinar I will introduce we can build some plugins to have some parity features in once, and we can like build and also migrate those data into the once platform. So this makes the sign off based on the evidence and it's not only based on the task status. All right, so as I just mentioned, we have the incremental sync. It may like change, it will make sync the new or change data. For example, some issues get updated after the main migration. We can like use the feature to sync those updated into the one's platform as well. They can include the issues, the comments, attachments, work logs, links, watches, and so on, and also like the status change. It is useful during the POC or maybe a pilot project or a parallel evaluation. But please know that there are some important rules. The first one is that it only thinks the business status. For example, a newly created issues, a updated issues. It will not sync the configurations. So any changes to the workflows or the layout will like need separate handling. So it is mainly to keep the source of the business status. And the second one is that Jira is the source of truth during this incremental sync period. So the sync is one way from Jira to one's platform. If there are any changes made in once, it will be overwritten. So this is mainly for some like freeze rollout and maybe for a private project that some of the business user they still need to do their work in the Jira platform. But for the production cutover, we suggest keeping the final sync window short and schedule it during a off-peak hours. Okay, so moving from a demo to production is it normally includes three steps. The first is the Jira that I just said before. So we need to confirm the scope, the mapping, the duration, and the validation process. We will prepare a like test environment, and we can migrate the whole data set to that environment and do the validation so that we can know how long it takes for a full migration and what is if there are any edge cases that we can fix during this process as well. So after the Jira passes, we can plan for the production migration. And we can use the incremental thing if the source system must remain active. It is for some scenarios that maybe some of the users they must stay in the Jira platform. And finally, for the cutover, we can perform the cutover during an agreed change window. So it is typically like after the Jira passes, we can have a off-peak window to do the production migration, and we can do the validation. Once team will help with our customer to during the entire process, and a successful cutover must be controlled, measurable, and reversible. Yeah. So I think that is pretty much for today's demo. And we followed one migration from the startup to the sign off. So I think it is not that difficult, right? We can like easily install the tool in the on the Jira server. We can start a fresh new task, and it is only just like you can configure the mapping and click next to see all the data into the one's platform. Yeah, so it is mainly to review the scope and select what data should be migrated, what is the mapping rules, and you can just validate the results. The main takeaway is simple also. Like a migration is not complete when the tool stops running. The task is successful, but it is only completed when the result have been checked and approved. Yeah, so thanks for joining us, and please feel free to let us know if you have any questions. Yeah, so let me just check from the question list. Okay, so as I just showed the matches, the migration scope that some of the data can be natively migrated, but some of them might be partially supported or compatible migrated. It means that Jira is a complex product. Once is also a complex one. So it is not that easy to map everything together, all the data schema, or maybe, for example, some of the features design might be different. So the partial means we can like migrate the data for example, I will just take the release as an example. The release in once is a kind of issue type. So if we want to migrate, it is more like a tag in Jira, right? You can select which release this issue belongs to. But in once, it is a kind of issue type. So we will migrate the release into once by creating the issues that it is in type of release. So this means we will do some conversion logic during the migration. And for the compatible one, sorry, for the partially one, some of the data might not be supported to migrate. That in that case, we typically like work closely with our customer to see whether the data can be like built within a plugin. We can like build a plugin based on one's open platform and then migrate those data through a plugin approach. Yeah. And regarding the user migrations, we will migrate all of the user accounts data. I mean, because we need to make sure all of the issues they can find their own owner, even if the user are in inactive status. We will migrate all of the account data, and it will not affect the directory sync or the SSO because it is another setup inside the one's platform. So during the SSO, for example, if the user account get migrated and we set up the user SSO, and if the user logins through the single sign-on, this one's platform will automatically match the identifier. Normally, it is the email. For example, if the user logins through single sign-on and the email match with the user record in the one's platform. So it means that this user is already in the one's platform. So it will log in successfully. Yeah, so it is not a hard bond between the single sign-on directory sync and the user migration. So you can always like migrate the user first and then enable the single sign-on. The system will automatically match or map the user data. Okay, so some of these post functions need to be set up after the migration. So we will like have to analyze the use cases, and we will also have to guide how you can easily set up all those post functions in once. And also, we are a frequent asked question that there are some rules or maybe post functions designed in the script runner in Jira that is like frequently used. We also have a app called OneScript that we are also evaluating how we can smoothly migrate all the scripts from Jira Script Runner to OneScript as well. Okay, so I think that's all of today. Thanks everyone for your joining, and please feel free to let us know, and you can always contact us with the email, and you can, if you are evaluating for a new tool, or maybe you want to migrate from Jira and Confluence to a new platform, you can always let us know, and we can help to assess and provide a solutions. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all. Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day.